Hello you lot, Miller Corner here, Super Seicento there, and a very lot of panic going on up here because as I film this, it's just a few days until the Nürburgring trip with Super Seicento. Now by the time you see this, I'll actually already be on the trip, assuming all this prep has gone well. There's a few little things in this car that need sorting in time for the road trip, including things like the lights not working properly, the brakes being a bit sticky and noisy and not always pulling up square, and the cooling not quite being up to snuff either, and they're all things that you kind of want to work for any trip, let alone one where you're going abroad and then going on the Nürburgring. So I've been tinkering a lot on this car over the last few weeks, just whenever I have time. So what you're going to see now is a load of cut together GoPro footage of little bits and pieces getting done, and hopefully having this little nugget road trip ready. For a start, there's my awesome angel eye headlights, which look awesome on this side, but not so much on this side. You may notice this angel eye is only partially lit up and it's very, very dull, and it makes the car look like it's lost its eye like a pyro or something. I think this angel eye element has actually died. These aren't particularly expensive. I bought a new one for like £4, and they just need replacing and wiring in. Also, both these headlights need sealing up because in particularly cold weather, they fog up really quite badly, particularly when you're washing the car and it's not a warm day. You get all kinds of fog and condensation in here. It's not pretty. There's so much gap in there, in fact, that if you get really close on this one, you can kind of see here a spider has made itself at home in this headlight and spun a load of cobwebs in there, which is not classy. So again, we need to open this out, get Mr. Spider out of there, clean it up, seal it up, and then that should be okay. You know what I mean? So 2 wires for the angel eye, the pink goes to the yellow. Red and yellow, yeah. Sorry, pink goes to the red and yellow, and that's for the angel eye wiring. Yeah. White goes to the black, yeah? Lovely, easy. Okay. This one wants cleaning up, doesn't it? And new. Yeah, we've sealed that quite silicone, yeah. We'll put new silicone in it, yeah. So what's holding that? I think it's going to be glue or something. Is it still in the case? Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. That's the same size, yep. They must just pop out then, won't they? Yeah, but it's been glued in there. What, this has? Yeah. What, this has been glued to this? Yeah, you can see all that black. Old calipers are looking a bit crusty. They're starting to stick and squeal and cause a few problems, and frankly these seals look knackered if you look there, and frankly I don't want to be trusting these to a long road trip, let alone the Nürburgring. So we've got some brand new stockers on there, literally brand new. Got a brand new pair for £75, can't argue with that. New pads, new discs, all been bled up looking beautiful. It's not going to be quite as effective as any upgrades or aftermarket ones, and the braided lines haven't got back on for now because that means you have to rebleed the whole car, and we do not have time to do that. But everything else is on, looking good, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll work perfectly and be good enough for the ring. Dad's been trying to fit the new angel eye to this headlight. So they've got a live and an earth, positive, negative, and the wire is only just long enough to go through this tiny gap that Seb originally drilled when he made these in the back of the headlight. So we've actually pulled it through as best as possible with those taped together on there to keep them in place. They're going to be joined to an extra bit of wire with these, which are kind of solder heat shrink in a tube. So you put a bit of wire in each end like that, and then you heat shrink it together, and that also melts the solder, so you get a really solid connection between the two with no need for spade connectors or terminals or anything else like that. It just keeps it solid, keeps it really small as well, so it can fit back through that hole if it needs to. So it's going to be heat proof, it's going to be solid, and it's going to be strong enough. In a minute the solder will go. There we are. Cool. Look at that! You see it run down the tube? Yeah, that's fantastic. Let go now. Lift that off, and that's all safe. Ta-da! Look at that for a result. So neat, so tidy. It's insulated, it's heat shrunk. That's the little LED controller which comes in this sort of plastic casing. Obviously that won't fit through there, so we'll put that back on in a minute to protect it. That is fantastic. So much better than twist and tape. Love it. Ah! It's not on, is it? No. Have you clicked them on? Are the other ones on? I haven't got all the wires in. Perhaps you have to have a whole lot. You probably do. Oh, hang on, right, headlights on. Wasn't that then? So we think the reason why it might not have lit up the first time is the resistor that's in line for these angel eyes is a one-way resistor, and it might have been around the wrong way, hence it wasn't actually sending the current to the angel eye. And sure enough, ta-da! Hey! Here we are. Light up my life. Look at that. Good. Excellent. Load of sealant in there. Stop it fogging up. That's what we want, that oozing. Oozing out, yep. Look at that. Okay. And just to keep it all clamped tight while the sealant's drying, we've put a couple of cable ties around it as tight as they'll go with the cloth there so it doesn't scratch. That'll keep it tight, that'll dry overnight, and then it'll be watertight and hopefully not fog up. Result. I've got the rag in it. I can't even operate a set of snippers properly. So there's one. There's two. So yeah, new angel eye is on, really white, and that looks fantastic. And as for the other one that we put on about 3 years ago, yeah, it looks, if I show you a difference, quite a difference. I'm not sure if it's always been that yellow or if it's kind of faded with age a bit, but either way, that one's now all good with the new angel eye and all sealed. This one is going to be getting a new angel eye, I think, because that is embarrassingly different. It's like someone who's got two different coloured eyes. The car's been running a bit hotter than normal. It tends to get up to temp and stay around 82 to 85 degrees normally, depending on how hot it is. More recently though, admittedly it's been a bit hotter in the summer, but it's been as high as 93, 94, and then coming up to 95 when you come into town. Now it doesn't ever overheat, the fan still comes in at 97 when it should, but it's still a bit disconcerting. No issues of any leaks anywhere. There's obviously nothing wet, nothing damp, nothing leaves any puddles, hasn't lost any coolant. We're up on an angle here, but it's never losing any coolant. We're going to change the thermostat as well, because that's another common failure point on these engines. It might be sticking slightly, not enough to overheat it, but potentially enough that it's causing out higher running temperatures. Oh bloody hell, they haven't been off them in a while. Just unloosen them. Shall I unloosen them?
Oh, is there another one? I think there's another one somewhere.
It's not getting off on it. Oh yeah, wait. Oh, there is oil. Obviously used an old rag to dry up under it at some point because there's a thread just wrapped around my gearbox. Go. Actually, we've done all right there. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is that really loose?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there wasn't a great deal of effort involved there. That might have been part of the problem.
I was just thinking.
Oh, copper grease. Look, there you go. Done that. We don't do things by halves.
And this should just have grease and a gasket. Yeah,
yep. That's going to be all sealed on there, so hopefully we don't get leaks. Yeah, it's that way.
Yeah, the bolt at the top. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Dun 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 dun.
Takes 5 minutes to go on.
Oh yeah, that's good. Is that? Yeah, because it did wiggle until you.
You happy with that?
Happy. So new thermostat is in with a new clip, hose is reconnected, coil pack's back on, we've sealed all that up so we don't get any oil leaks from the coil pack. Now we just need to top up the coolant that came out and then find out if that's helped.
Yeah, I think fire it up for a minute.
Okay.
And let it get some temperature.
So we're still getting up to temp. The new thermostat is an 87 degree one, so it will open when it's at 87 degrees. Until then, the coolant is effectively just concentrating on the engine. It's just staying in there. When the thermostat opens at 87 degrees, we're up to about 67 at the moment, it will open, the coolant will go into the radiator, the top hose will get hot, and that's when we can start bleeding it out. So we're up to 83 on the little gauge there, and we think it's already open because our coolant level has dropped and top hose there is hot. Heater's up to temp, so it has opened, which means it is working. So in theory, new thermostat doing its thing. So next, bleed the cooling system. Yeah. So here's where we're at. We've run the car up to temperature a few times. It's now sitting steady at around 83, 84. I've just revved it up to 97 to get the fan to cut in, which is why it's sitting about 86. And it's idling perfectly. Heater is hot with that on beautifully, as good as it always was. Top hose gets hot when it should, 87 degrees, that's all good. We've got no leaks around the cap. We've tightened this hose clip up because that was a bit loose, but we've checked that is now tight and not leaking or dripping. We've tightened that bleeder up as tight as it'll go, and we've bled the whole system. It's not dripping, and that is perfect. We've tightened up those bolts on the thermostat housing, which were just sort of finger tight, so hopefully they should be fine. And now we've cured it. We're done. At the 11th hour, we got everything finished for our road trip. The lights are now working properly, the brakes are working well, it's even cooling properly. I've had time to give it a quick wash and put my UK sticker on the back window with a slight bubble in it, but we'll gloss over that. The Super Seicento is road trip and indeed Nürburgring ready. I'm going back to Europe in this car for the first time since before COVID, and I'm stoked. A little bit nervous, but so excited. By the time you're seeing this, we'll be in Germany on the way to the ring, and don't you worry, there will be plenty of videos to come. But for now, as ever, thanks very much for watching, everybody, and have a brilliant rest of your day. Catch you soon, and have a good one. Woo! Germany, here we come.